You don't have a motivation problem. You have a discipline problem. And discipline is built in the fire of suffering. Listen up. You've spent too long making excuses, too long waiting for motivation, too long blaming your circumstances. You say you want to change, but every time life slaps you in the face, you crumble. That stops today. I'm telling you right now, you can transform your entire life in 1 month, but it's not going to be easy. It's going to suck. It's going to break you down. But that's where the magic happens. That's where you find out who the hell you really are. Own your weaknesses. You look in the mirror every day, but you don't really see yourself. You see the version you want to believe in, not the truth. You cover up your weaknesses with excuses, justifications, and lies. That's why you stay stuck. You refuse to face your own reality. And until you strip yourself down, expose your flaws, and admit where you're failing, you will never change. Weak people avoid the truth. They sugarcoat their problems. They blame their past, their parents, their job, the system. But the problem is you. You are the one hitting snooze. You are the one eating like crap. You are the one making excuses for why you can't work out. The world owes you nothing. If you want change, you have to own your mistakes and take responsibility. Most people are too scared to do this. They don't want to write down their weaknesses because then they have to deal with them. But guess what? If you don't face them, they will own you forever. You'll keep repeating the same patterns, running in circles, wondering why you never level up. But it's simple. You haven't had the guts to truly acknowledge your flaws. This is what separates winners from losers. Winners don't hide from the truth. They chase it. They dig deep and expose their darkest weaknesses, then they attack them. That's how you level up. That's how you go from weak to strong, from undisciplined to unstoppable. But first you must accept the raw, ugly truth about who you are right now. You say you want to be great, but do you? Because greatness requires brutal honesty. You must write down every failure, every habit that's holding you back. You must break yourself down to rebuild. If you're overweight, admit it. If you're lazy, admit it. If you quit when things get hard, own it. Until you do, you'll keep pretending, and pretending is for cowards. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to fix your problems. You think you have time. You don't. Every day you avoid the truth, you waste another opportunity to change. That's why people stay stuck in the same cycles year after year. They live in denial. They don't want to admit that the reason they're failing is because of the person staring back at them in the mirror. Weakness isn't permanent, but only if you face it head on. If you ignore it, it will become your identity. If you lie to yourself, you will never change. Look at your life. Look at your results. They are the sum of your choices. The only way forward is to stop the bullshit, call yourself out, and commit to fixing what's broken inside you. Some of you reading this already feel defensive. That's because the truth hurts. It exposes your weaknesses, and that makes you uncomfortable. But comfort is the enemy of progress. If you want to transform, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to sit with the pain of who you are right now and decide you are done living like this. You want a better life? Then start with the truth. The reason you aren't where you want to be is because of you. No one else. Your habits, your mindset, your actions, you are the one choosing mediocrity. And as long as you keep blaming, making excuses, and pretending everything is fine, you will never rise above the person you are today. Most people will never do this because it's hard. It forces them to confront their failures. But that's exactly why you must do it. Because the ones who do are the ones who grow. They are the ones who break free from their old self and build a new one. This is the foundation of transformation, facing yourself, owning your bullshit, and taking action. If you can't admit your weaknesses, you'll never fix them. If you refuse to accept responsibility, you'll stay weak. Winners don't hide from their flaws, they attack them. They look at their excuses and demolish them. They take full accountability and say, I am responsible for my life and I will change it. That's how you win. You have one choice: keep pretending or step up and own everything about yourself. No one is forcing you to change. No one is making you do the work. But if you don't, you'll be in the exact same place next year, making the same excuses. Is that what you want? Or do you want to take back control and become something greater? Weakness doesn't disappear because you ignore it. It grows, it spreads, it becomes part of who you are. The only way to kill it is to expose it, destroy it, and replace it with strength. That requires effort. That requires relentless self-awareness. That requires about the person you are today so you can become the person you were meant to be. This is your moment. You either face yourself now or you stay exactly where you are. No more lying. No more pretending. No more hiding behind comfort. If you want to change, then step the hell up and own everything about your life. Because until you do, nothing will ever change and you'll be stuck in the same miserable cycle forever. Now, are you ready to face the truth? Or are you just another person who talks big but never does a damn thing about it? Callous your mind through suffering. Pain is the gateway to power. Every time you run from pain, you run from growth. Every time you avoid suffering, you avoid becoming the person you were meant to be. You say you want to be strong, but when life throws tea at you, you fold, you break. You crumble like a weak-minded coward. That's why you're stuck. That's why you're not leveling up. You've been living life too soft, too easy, too comfortable. You sleep in, you garbage. You avoid hard work. You sit on the couch instead of pushing yourself to the limit. And then you wonder why you feel weak, why you feel lost, why you feel like a failure. It's because you haven't built calluses on your mind. You've allowed yourself to stay fragile. You think suffering is something to avoid. No. Suffering is where you find yourself. It's where you develop grit. It's where you discover your breaking points and shatter them. Every time you push through something painful, you become stronger. Every time you force yourself to do something you hate, you become harder. This is how you build an unbreakable mind. Weak people want shortcuts. They want motivation. They want comfort. They want results without sacrifice. That's why they never get anywhere. That's why they stay stuck in the same cycles. But warriors, they seek out suffering. They chase it. They put themselves in situations where they are tested every single day. That's how you forge a savage mindset. You think you're tough, prove it. Do something that sucks. Get up at 4 a.m. and train in the freezing cold. Run until your legs give out. Push yourself to the point where you want to quit and then keep going. That's what separates the strong from the weak. That's how you callous your mind. That's how you become the type of person who never breaks. Pain is your greatest teacher. You think you know yourself, you don't know teen until you've suffered. Until you've hit a wall, wanted to quit, and kept going anyway. That's when you meet your real self. That's when you discover who the hell you really are. If you always quit when things get hard, you will never become the person you were meant to be. You can't fake toughness. You either have it or you don't. And the only way to get it is through suffering. Every day, do something that makes you want to quit. Every day, push yourself past the point where your mind tells you to stop. That's how you rewire your brain. That's how you become mentally unstoppable. You break yourself down, and then you rebuild stronger. Most people never tap into their true potential because they stop when it gets hard. They listen to the weak voice in their head that says, take it easy. That voice is the enemy. That voice will keep you weak for the rest of your life. The only way to silence it is to prove it wrong, to keep going when every part of you wants to quit. That's how you win. Your mind is like a muscle. You have to break it to make it grow. You have to push past your limits over and over again until those limits no longer exist. That's how you become a beast. That's how you become the type of person who can handle anything life throws at them. Because life will test you. And if you're not ready, you're going to break. Pain is coming. Struggle is coming. Hard times are coming. Will you be ready? Or will you fold like everyone else? You prepare for war in the moments of peace. You build your mind before life forces you to. If you wait until you're in the fire, it's too late. That's why you must seek out suffering now, before life makes the choice for you. Your excuses mean nothing. I'm tired. So what? I don't feel like it. Who cares? It's too hard. That's the point. You have to stop thinking that suffering is something to avoid. Suffering is where transformation happens. Suffering is where strength is built. Suffering is what separates the weak from the warriors. Which one do you want to be? You have to rewire your mind to love the pain, to crave the struggle, to see every hard moment as an opportunity to get stronger. If you do that, nothing can stop you. You will be untouchable, unbreakable. The kind of person who never gives up, never complains, never makes excuses. That's how you dominate life. You don't become mentally strong by accident. You choose to be. Every day you wake up and decide, am I going to be weak today, or am I going to suffer and grow? That decision determines your future. That decision determines whether you stay average or become an eighth king savage. And guess what? Only one of those options leads to greatness. This is how you transform your mind. This is how you become a warrior. Not by avoiding pain, but by seeking it out. Not by making excuses, but by pushing through anyway. You either callous your mind and become unbreakable, or you stay soft and weak forever. The choice is yours. But if you're reading this, I know you already know the answer. So tell me, are you going to suffer or are you going to stay the same? Wake up before the world. You think you're serious about your goals. Then why the F key? You're still waking up like everyone else. The world is filled with weak people who hit snooze, sleep in, and waste the most valuable hours of the day. If you're one of them, you're not built for greatness. You're built for average. And average people don't change the world. You don't just wake up early because it sounds cool. You wake up early because that's what winners do. That's what killers do. That's what people who dominate life do. While everyone else is drooling on their pillow, you're up building a mindset so sharp it cuts through every distraction. and every sign of weakness. You think you need more sleep? No, you need more discipline. You're not tired, you're untrained. You've spent your whole life doing what's easy, and now you've convinced yourself that sleep is what's holding you back. It's not. Your mindset is. If your goals meant something to you, you get your ass out of bed before the world even wakes up. When you wake up before the world, you win the day before it even starts. You've already worked while they're still dreaming. You've already taken control while they're still stumbling through their morning routine. And by the time they wake up, you're 5 steps ahead, moving like a machine, unstoppable and untouchable. The morning is when your mind is at war with itself. Your body says, stay in bed, and your mind says, get the F key up. That's the battle. That's the test. And most people fail because they give in to the weakest version of themselves. But if you crush the morning, you crush the rest of the day. It's that simple. You ever notice how weak people always have the same excuse? I'm not a morning person. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. You think warriors care about being morning people? No. They do what needs to be done whether they feel like it or not. You don't wake up early because it's easy. You wake up early because it's hard. You think this is about sleep? No. This is about discipline. This is about controlling yourself instead of letting weakness control you. This is about waking up at 4 a.m. when everything in your body screams no and doing it anyway. Because if you can control the morning, you can control your entire damn life. Comfort is the enemy. You sleep in because it feels good. You stay in bed because it's warm. But comfort is killing you. Comfort is turning you into a soft, weak version of yourself. You want to be different? You want to be elite? Then get uncomfortable. Wake up before the world and start attacking life while they're still hitting snooze. You don't need more time. You need more discipline with the time you already have. Everyone gets 24 hours. The ones who win are the ones who use every king second to their advantage. And the best way to do that, start before everyone else. Start when the world is asleep. Start when nobody's watching. That's when champions are built. The morning is your proving ground. The morning is where weak people fold and strong people rise. You can either be the person who stays in bed dreaming about success or the person who wakes up early and creates success. Every morning you choose weak or strong, loser or winner. Which one are you going to be? I don't care if you're tired. I don't care if you don't feel like it. Nobody cares. You think champions complain about being tired? You think killers give a damn about being sleepy? No. They get up and get after it because they are obsessed with being great. And obsession beats comfort every time. You ever hear someone say, I don't have time to work out, to read, to improve my life? Bullshit. You have time, but you waste it. You sleep through it. You scroll through it. You sit around complaining while real winners are up grinding before the sun even rises. If you really wanted it, you'd make time. You've got to rewire your mind. You've got to stop treating the morning like something that just happens to you. You own the morning, or the morning owns you. And if you start every day like a loser, snoozing your alarm, scrolling your phone, wasting time you are choosing to lose before the day even starts, the world is soft. It's filled with lazy, weak people who sleep in and wonder why nothing changes in their life. Don't be like them. Be the one who wakes up while they sleep. Be the one who grinds while they rest. Be the one who destroys every excuse and becomes unstoppable. Because in a month, the weak ones will still be in bed, but you'll be a machine. So tell me, are you going to keep sleeping on your potential? Or are you going to wake the hell up and take control of your life? Destroy all excuses. Excuses are the disease that keeps you weak. Excuses are the reason you're still stuck in the same spot, year after year, watching other people pass you by. You think life is unfair. You think things are too hard. No, you're just making excuses to stay soft. And every time you do, you kill the part of you that wants to be great. You say you want to change, but every time it gets tough, you have an excuse ready. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'm not motivated. Shut the F key up. That's loser talk. That's the mentality of someone who's comfortable being average. And guess what? You can't be great and make excuses at the same time. Excuses are lies you tell yourself to stay the same. They keep you comfortable. They keep you from feeling the pain of admitting you're not doing enough. You act like life is holding you back when the truth is you're holding yourself back. Nobody is stopping you but you. You are your biggest enemy. You are the one letting excuses win. You want to be unstoppable. You want to transform your life. Then you have to kill every excuse the moment it enters your mind. When your brain says, I don't feel like it, you get up and do it anyway. When your body says, I'm tired, you push harder. When everything in you is screaming to quit, you go even further. Weak people let excuses dictate their actions. They only work hard when they feel like it. They only push themselves when it's convenient. That's why they never achieve anything. Winners don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They show up and do the F-king work no matter what. You ever notice how the most successful people have been through hell? How they've suffered more than anyone? It's because they never let excuses stop them. They had every reason to quit, every reason to give up, but they didn't. That's why they win. That's why they dominate. And that's why you're either going to be like them or you're going to stay weak. Nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody cares how tired you are. Nobody's coming to save you. You think life is hard. You think you've got problems. Guess what? So does everyone else. But some people push through and some people sit around feeling sorry for themselves. Which one are you? You have to rewire your brain. Every time you start making an excuse, catch yourself and kill it. Don't let it take root in your mind. Because once you start making one excuse, it leads to another. And before you know it, your whole life is built on a foundation of weakness. Excuses spread like a disease. You either cut them out or they consume you. You don't have time. Make time. You don't feel like it? Nobody cares. You're tired. Good. Work through it. Because the moment you stop letting excuses run your life, you become F-king unstoppable. That's when you separate yourself from the pack. That's when you become the type of person who wins no matter what. You have two choices every day: find a way or find an excuse. That choice determines your future. If you choose excuses, you'll stay where you are, watching others pass you by. But if you choose to kill every excuse, to push through every obstacle, you will become the kind of person who dominates life. Excuses feel good in the moment, but they destroy you in the long run. Every time you let an excuse win, you train yourself to be weak. You train yourself to quit. You train yourself to settle for less. And if you keep doing that, you will never reach your potential. You will never be great. You have to go to war with your own mind. You have to fight against every lazy, weak, excuse-filled thought that tries to creep in. You have to develop the ability to shut that shit down immediately and take action anyway. Because action is the only thing that matters. Excuses don't get results. Work does. People love to say, I'll start tomorrow. No, you won't. Tomorrow is another excuse. Tomorrow is a lie. If you're serious about changing your life, you start now. You stop making excuses today. You commit today. Because the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the bullshit you keep telling yourself. This is your moment. You can either step up and kill every excuse or you can stay the same. But if you stay the same, don't complain, don't cry about how life isn't fair, don't wonder why you're still stuck. Because the answer is simple. You chose to let excuses win. So tell me, are you going to keep lying to yourself, or are you going to destroy every excuse and take what's yours? Master your emotions, discipline over feelings. You think discipline is optional. You think you can just do things when you feel like it. That's why you're weak. That's why you keep falling short. That's why you're not where you want to be. Because you're controlled by your feelings instead of being controlled by your mission. And people who let their emotions run them will never be great. Weak people let emotions dictate their actions. They say, I don't feel like training today, so they don't. I'm not in the mood to work hard, so they don't. I don't have the energy today, so they take the easy route. That's why they never get anywhere. They live their whole lives based on how they feel in the moment. You think warriors care about how they feel? You think people who dominate wake up every day in the mood to grind? Hell no. They do it anyway. They put in the work when they're tired. They show up when they're unmotivated. They execute when they don't feel like it, because discipline is stronger than emotions. Your emotions are liars. They will try to trick you into quitting. They will tell you deserve to take it easy. They will whisper, it's okay to skip today. That's the enemy. That's the weakness trying to take over. And if you listen to it, you lose. You let weakness win. And the more you let it win, the weaker you become. The strongest people in the world are not the ones who feel the best. They're the ones who keep moving no matter how they feel. They train when they're sore. They work when they're unmotivated. They push through the pain. That's what separates them from the people who never accomplish shit. Your mission has to be bigger than your emotions. You have to train your mind to see beyond the moment. Right now, you feel tired, you feel unmotivated, but guess what? Your future self is watching. And every time you let emotions win, your future self suffers. You ever wonder why the most disciplined people always seem untouchable? It's because they have rewired their minds. They don't wake up and ask, how do I feel today? They wake up and say, what needs to be done? That's it. No questions, no feelings, just execution. You don't get to choose how you feel, but you do get to choose what you do. That's power. That's real control. Because when you stop letting emotions dictate your actions, you become unstoppable. You stop needing motivation. You stop needing to be in the right mood. You just F-king move. And that's what makes you a beast. You want to transform your life. Stop waiting to feel like it. Stop needing the perfect mood. Stop waiting for inspiration. Just F-king execute, because execution beats emotion every single time. And if you master this, you master life. The best version of you is buried under layers of weakness, fear, and emotions that don't serve you. Your job is to kill that shti. Every single day you wake up and say, I don't care how I feel, I care about my mission. And if you can do that, you become a force of nature. Every time you feel like quitting, remember this, feelings don't pay your bills. Feelings don't get you stronger. Feelings don't build your legacy. Work does, discipline does. And if you can master this, nothing can stop you. So tell me, are you going to keep letting emotions control you, or are you going to take full control of your life? Develop a ruthless work ethic, be the hardest worker in the room. Let me be real with you, you are not working hard enough. I don't care how many hours you put in, how much you think you've struggled, you can do more. You can push harder. You can suffer more. And if you want to truly transform your life, you need to adopt a ruthless work ethic. Not good, not great, ruthless. Most people have no idea what hard work actually looks like. They think working 8 hours is tough. They think going to the gym for 45 minutes is enough. But the people who truly dominate, they outwork every single person around them. They don't complain. They don't take days off. They show up and destroy everything in their path. Your competition is out there training while you sleep. Someone is working harder than you right now. And if you're okay with that, you will never be great. Because the people who win in this world, they refuse to be outworked. They refuse to be second place. They refuse to let someone else beat them. You don't become elite by doing the minimum. You don't transform by doing just enough. You have to become obsessed. Obsessed with outworking everyone. Obsessed with pushing yourself past every limit. Obsessed with making every single second count. Because that's what it takes. The biggest lie people tell themselves is that they're grinding when they're really just going through the motions. You think you're working hard, double it, triple it, push until your body, mind break, then rebuild yourself stronger. Discipline beats talent. Hard work beats natural ability. The hardest worker in the room will always find a way to win. That has to be you. If there's a room full of people chasing the same goal, you better make damn sure you're the one who wants it more than everyone else. Your work ethic is the only thing you have complete control over. You can't control talent. You can't control luck, but you can control how hard you push yourself. And if you choose to push yourself harder than anyone else, you will win. It's not a question, it's a fact. Hard work is the great equalizer. The weak will say, I'm not naturally gifted. Who gives a fee cake? The strongest, most dominant people in the world were not born that way, they built themselves. And the only way they did it was through relentless, savage, back-breaking work. So stop making excuses. Stop acting like you're grinding when you're really just playing it safe. Push yourself to levels you never thought possible. Break your limits. Outwork every single person in the room. And I guarantee you in 1 month, you won't even recognize yourself. So tell me, are you ready to become the hardest worker in every single room you walk into? Become comfortable with being uncomfortable. You don't grow in comfort. You don't transform when things are easy. You get stronger in suffering. But most people, they run from discomfort like cowards. They want the results, but they don't want the pain. They want the rewards, but they don't want to struggle. And that's why they stay weak. Let me tell you something, the best version of you is on the other side of suffering. The stronger, smarter, more disciplined version of you is waiting, but you have to go through hell to meet them. There's no shortcut. There's no easy way. You have to make pain your best friend. Most people quit when things get hard. That's why most people are average. That's why most people never change. Because they back down the moment things get uncomfortable. You think you deserve success without suffering. You think greatness comes without struggle. Wake the F-cake up. You ever wonder why the toughest people in the world seem unshakable? Because they have been through hell. They have suffered more than anyone else. They have faced pain, looked it in the eye, and said, is that all you got? If you want to be great, you have to do the same. You have to seek out discomfort. You have to do things that make you miserable on purpose. Why? Because when you suffer, you grow. When you struggle, you get stronger. And the more you expose yourself to pain, the less it controls you. You don't get tougher sitting in comfort. You don't get better taking the easy route. You get better by walking straight into the fire. You train in the cold. You push through exhaustion. You take on challenges that scare you. Because every time you suffer and refuse to quit, you become a thanking machine. Pain is temporary. Weakness is forever. Every time you back down from discomfort, you train yourself to be weak. And if you do that enough times, you'll wake up one day as a fragile, useless version of yourself, someone who never lived up to their potential. But if you choose to embrace discomfort, to seek out suffering, to push yourself past the point of breaking, you will transform. You will become unstoppable. You will look at challenges and laugh because you have trained yourself to be comfortable in the worst conditions possible. So tell me, are you going to keep running from discomfort, or are you going to face it? and become the strongest version of yourself. Never negotiate with yourself. You ever notice how the greatest people in the world don't hesitate? How they just douche tea without overthinking? That's because they don't negotiate with themselves. Weak people hesitate. Weak people talk themselves out of hard work. They wake up and think, should I get up or should I sleep in? They plan to go to the gym and then think, maybe I'll go later. They sit there debating with themselves instead of just F-kigging executing. That's why they stay average, because they give themselves too many options. They let weakness creep in and convince them to take the easy route. And every time they do that, they reinforce the habit of quitting. The moment you start negotiating with yourself, you lose. The second you let that voice in your head start debating whether you should do something, you have already failed. Because weakness will always try to talk you out of hard tea. You don't ask yourself if you should do it, you just F-king do it. That's the mindset of a savage. That's the mindset of a winner. There's no should I. There's only I will. When your alarm goes off, you don't hit snooze. You don't sit there thinking about how tired you are. You get up immediately. When it's time to train, you don't let yourself debate it. You put on your shoes and start running. You shut down any hesitation before it has a chance to take over. Because the second you start thinking, you give weakness a chance to win. And if you let it win today, it will win tomorrow and the next day. And before you know it, your entire life is built on quitting. You think the greatest athletes, the most dominant warriors, the most successful people sit around debating with themselves? Hell no. They move, they act, they execute. They don't wait for the right time. They don't sit around waiting to feel ready. They don't let their weak thoughts dictate their actions. They shut that tea down and get to work. You have to become that person. You have to become the type of person who moves without hesitation. Who doesn't give themselves the option to be weak? Who shuts down excuses before they even start? Because that's the only way to win. Most people waste years negotiating with themselves. Years of should I start today? Years of maybe tomorrow. Years of talking themselves out of doing what needs to be done. And before they know it, they've wasted their entire lives. That's not going to be you. Not anymore. Because today you stop negotiating. Today you make a promise to yourself that you will execute no matter what. No excuses, no hesitation, no debate, just F-kind action. You don't have time to be weak. You don't have time to hesitate. You don't have time to waste years talking yourself out of your own success. You either act now or you stay the same forever. So tell me, are you going to keep debating with yourself, or are you going to shut that tea down and execute? The war is won or lost right here. You wanted to transform your life in 1 month? Then you better be ready to go through hell. Because transformation isn't about reading words on a screen. It isn't about getting hyped up for a few minutes and then going right back to your old ways. It's about execution. It's about taking everything you just read and making it your reality, no matter how hard it gets. Every single thing I told you is a weapon. Callousing your mind, waking up early, destroying excuses, mastering your emotions, developing a ruthless work ethic, embracing discomfort, and never negotiating with yourself. These are the tools that will separate you from the weak, but only if you use them. Right now, there's a war happening inside of you. One side wants to be great. The other wants to stay comfortable. One side wants to go all in. The other wants to take the easy route. One side is ready to transform. The other is whispering, maybe later. Which side wins? The one you feed. You can either walk away from this speech and go back to your old ways, same excuses, same weakness, same wasted potential. Or you can make the decision right here, right now, that you will never be the same again. Because this isn't about motivation. Motivation is a lie. It fades. It disappears the moment things get hard. What you need is discipline. What you need is a mindset so effing unbreakable that nothing can stop you, not pain, not exhaustion, not failure, not fear. Nothing. That mindset is built in the next 30 days, not by talking, not by dreaming, but by doing. You will wake up earlier. You will train harder. You will suffer more. You will execute without hesitation. Every single day, you will push yourself further than you ever have before. And every single day, you will prove to yourself that you are not like everybody else. And if you do that, if you truly commit to this without excuses, 1 month from now, you won't even recognize yourself. You will walk differently. You will think differently. You will move differently. And when people ask what changed, you'll tell them the truth. I stopped being weak. I stopped making excuses. I took control of my F-king life. That's the mission. That's the standard. That's the war. And you either win it now or you lose it forever. So tell me what the F-key you're going to do. Now get up and go to work.